this series of videos, I want to be very meticulous. So I hope you'll be patient with me, and as I go along, you'll find this interesting. Thanks again. I want to give you a little bit of background on this plane. Technically, it belongs to the carrier and not part of Carrier Air Wing 9. When I got this video as a reference and saw the video I'm now playing, I just thought this was so cool. And just watching it turn and the wings fold. And so that's when I went out and tried to find everything to do it, and here we are. So now at this stage is to make that look like this. I think I now have it kind of from every angle to, give me all the markings and everything correctly, the paint scheme. And then I also did an internet image search years ago, back when I decided to do this, and found this. I did a search the other day, can't find this anymore. And I took like a good 45 minutes. I could not find this image out there anymore, but it's definitely the same plane. So thank goodness I grabbed that. And then this is the same plane, but years earlier, and you'll see by the nuclear symbol, I pinned it down to about 64, where they were still like kind of bragging about, the first nuclear carrier and stuff like that. My other important reference in this entire project has been the 1968 cruise book, which is like the yearbook every year for that particular cruise. From that cruise book is, if you can see it back here, is this plane. And so what this gave me is just verification kind of what the propeller at rest looks like and inside the engine, because some of the reference planes that I looked at, inside there is painted black or gray or what have you. And then also the front landing gear door, that 031, and kind of the placement of that. So yeah, so this is, just one more reference to give me that actual plane. So working from these references, one of the first things I noticed was how much higher this window is than the side window. And that Edward tape set, in my opinion, these were too small. So I actually increased the size all the way around to bring those up and to bring them over. And then I also wanted to bring them closer together in the middle. That's a little narrower than what the tape had. So basically I went all the way around them and just made them bigger. These weren't exactly lining up, both when I looked this way and then down on them. So I had to actually improve both sides to get it where I want it. The other thing is I want to swap this out. It's just too big to scale. So I went out looking. I originally found it looking for this, which is a base that will go along with this. To match my other bases, but a round one, because I have very good news. I found that helicopter, but that will be for another episode, but this is what's going to go with that. So that turned me on to Jo-Ann Fabrics, and while I was there, they have way more than just fabric. In the jewelry making section, I found this, and this is nice rigid wire at what I feel is the right gauge. So I'm actually going to pop that off and figure out how to replace this. And I got an even smaller gauge then for that detail that goes in the nose that comes out, which again will be a later thing that I do along with the wire pulls. So at first I tried to pry the entire thing off, and it wasn't having it because I used the ultra thin and it's melted on there. So then I decided to just take that off there, and now I'm sanding it down. So I'm still going to go with my original kind of thought on this. I'll leave it masked, get it nice and thin, and then I'll hit it again with the rivet tool, put some rivets on there, but now go back with the much thinner wire, and I could get a nice, much more crisp right angles to the handle. That bit matches pretty good. All right, there we go. I think that looks way better. Yeah, happy with that. Still trying to get some things done on here before I start painting. The other thing is kind of finishing up this nose. Now I will wait on the wire to put that in, but I want to get this hole drilled, and I found a little piece to simulate that pipe. So I just, found the bit that matches that size. I'm going to drill the hole, fit that in there, glue it, let it dry. I couldn't be happier with the way this came out. It was straight and level on the very first try. Next, I want to finish up this light in the back, and I've got these two pieces, and I'm debating which one to go with. I'm thinking I've got two of these, maybe something like that, or the tips of these. These were too big, and these were too small. I like the very tip, and I have two of them, of that. All right, there we go. I think those worked. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll paint those, you know, the white and, or maybe I'll leave the one silver and then go the other one amber. We'll see, but yeah, I can make those look like lights. All right, check another thing off the list. And then the last thing I need to do before I paint, I think that hole next to what will be the spotlight needs to be opened up a little bit more. So I'm gonna drill that out to be a little bit bigger. All right, here's all the insignia white. Did the wings. Then I took a similar approach to that handle up on the roof to this piece for the nose. Cut that smaller wire, drilled 2 holes in a piece of sheet styrene, and then fashion that to the nose. And then for that pipe, I made a shroud out of scrap sheet styrene frame. Just finished up with the flat gold gray. And we got the wings and the fuselage. Used a little chrome silver paint in the spotlight there, and then when I go to do those windows, I'll fill that in with the crystal clear as well. Next, I masked for that gunship gray for the walkway up there. Here's the walkway. I think that came out pretty good. I had to sand down those humps a little bit more, so that's why I didn't even bother masking those, or the light, same thing there. And then later what I'll do is outline all of that with black stripe decal, which if you remember my E2 video, that's what I did there. So that's the same paint outlined with black stripe decal. So I'm going to do the same thing on the Trader. And then I finally attach those pitot tubes to the nose. I think I'm ready for the black on the insides of those engines and on the nose here. I think this would be a good place to stop. I never get as much done in a week as I think I'm going to, but I am super happy with the progress I made. So, you know, and I think I'm nailing it. So here's what I have. There's the wings and landing gear doors and stuff. And then here's that nose. And so now I will, when I do those windows, which will probably be the next thing I do, I'll also fill in the nose there with that crystal clear to try to make that into a spotlight. But I'm super happy with the way my stuff on the nose came out. You know, this thing here. So yeah, and then the black on the inner sides of those engine nacelles. Now there's a silver circle, I'm not even sure what it is, that goes on the inside of each one of those. I'll do that next time. I like my separation lines here. I'm super happy with the way that came out. The doorway, I can't wait to put the panel line in there and see how that looks after I panel line it, but that'll be after a clear coat. Detail on the top, I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. I have to still touch those lights, and there's some detail there, and then like I said, I'll do the black stripe decal. But in general, I am pretty doggone happy with the way it's turning out. So, hope you're enjoying this, and as always, thanks for watching and happy modeling.